Welcome back everybody to Property Couple. My name is AK.
I'm Leah and this is our channel where we document property, business and working together as a couple. So in today's episode, we wanted to share with you our latest news, which is our next big, huge project we've got ahead of us. Do you want to say it or shall I say it? I never know.
Yeah,
We've never really shared news like this, have we?
So for anybody that's been watching our videos, you have probably been quite used to a very similar property type. We've been doing these HMOs, these sort of 4-bed HMOs. We are now embarking into slightly different waters.
Slightly different territory.
Slightly.
Not like hugely different, just slightly different territory.
Yeah.
It's like same, but different.
Yeah, exactly. So essentially, we are buying a former care home.
An 11-bed.
An 11-bed former care home.
And we are turning it into
an 11-bed HMO.
Would you know? Would you have guessed?
Yeah. So this is going to be a really exciting project, I think, because, well, for many reasons. I think it's going to be a new challenge.
It's nowhere near our old properties, our former properties.
It's miles away.
It's like, is it 2.5 hours up, 2.5 hours down?
Yeah.
So it's 5-hour round trip to get up and down to the property.
Yeah.
It's long.
It's long, but it's really exciting.
Yeah.
So actually this particular property, just to give you a bit of a backstory, is direct to vendor. So what does direct to vendor mean? It means without an agent involved, basically.
I thought you were asking me. I was like, yeah, it means you speak to the owner directly.
Yeah. What does it mean?
Basically, it just means there's no middleman. So you've got direct contact with the person who owns the building. There's no agent standing between you and them, which I know is quite rare nowadays. Like, you don't really get many direct to vendor deals unless you go looking for them.
Yeah, I just find it's so much easier to deal with because you're dealing with a human being, and obviously agents are human beings, but what I mean by that is an agent's sole purpose is to get the most they absolutely can from the property, and that's all they really care about, and that's their job, so, of course.
Good for them.
Yeah. But I think when you're dealing specifically with the owner or the person that is selling the property, you just have a different conversation. You're just really trying to understand their situation a little bit more. And
we can be flexible to their situation, they can be flexible to our situation, and this one did require a lot of bending on both sides. We had to wait for certain things to go through on our end, and therefore the vendor had to wait for his property to be sold, and he wanted a fairly quick sale, and we thought we would be able to offer that, but there was a few obstacles, like there is with anything, in order for us to get the property over the line. And whenever we say over the line, we just mean we've got the keys, like it's completed, the sale is done. And I made sure on this occasion that we did not say anything about this deal online until it was signed, sealed and delivered, because I've learnt from that mistake probably 2.5 years ago when we hadn't got a deal over the line. But I said that it was over. Well, I was like, we're doing this, and then it didn't happen. And it was mortifying.
Amazing.
Absolutely
amazing.
So, yes.
Yeah, this is a really interesting one as well, because this is the first time that we've ever had to do like planning permission, for example, like go through that process. That's a really new thing for us, because with our regular sort of 4-bed HMOs, you don't need any planning for that type of property. So with this one, obviously being anything above 6 beds, 6 people in the property, requires full planning permission. So yeah, that's been interesting. I think it's been relatively smooth. However, there's one sort of sticking point with it, and that's with the flood risk. So, our architect has been working through that, and we're going to be raising the floors slightly. We'll keep you, completely up to date with it, but so that's been a big learning curve for us as well.
Yeah, like the area doesn't look like a flood risk area at all. Like there's people living on that street. So when the environmental agency were like, there's a potential flood risk, we were like, is there? But you've just got to go with what they say and change your plans accordingly.
Yeah.
And just be, just give them exactly what they want when it comes to like the council and the environment agencies, because they know their area best, and we're just doing what we know best. So it's been amazing to, be, like you said, working with an architect has done this inside and out many times. And we just feel like we're in safe hands with the team that we've got around us, which is really good.
Really good team around us. We're in the process now of tendering out for the build team, but in terms of the core team we have around us so far, it's good.
Yeah,
Like our architect's really
it's really good.
yeah, and our sort of the guys we're dealing with on the ground there, project management and stuff like that at the moment, yeah, really great.
So we actually went up there to visit. I did capture some content whilst we were on the road. I remember at one point us not wanting to go for a drive-through, so we'd packed like lunch boxes and we had to like pull over on the road and eat our food because it was raining. We were driving up and I was like, what is our life? Like, what are we doing?
Do you know what? What I will say though is, I've never gone that way. I've never like driven to this location before.
Yeah,
and
it's in the northeast of Lincolnshire.
Yeah. Well, we can go into more details
in future videos, I'm sure,
because it'll make much more sense. But on the route up there, I remember there not actually being that many places to stop for food.
Yeah.
Like, do you remember, like on the road? I'm actually so glad we packed food in the car.
As a passenger, I am often not switched on, so that would not have even occurred to me. So yeah, we drove up. I remember going on Rightmove when I was in the area as well, because there's a feature on Rightmove where you can just say use current location. It takes the current location of your phone and it shows you properties for sale in the area. And I just remember being so blown away by the price difference between like north and south. And not even north and south, north and Midlands, because we live in the middle. The south is a different story. The south is like unbelievably expensive. And then the north is just a little bit more reasonable. I wouldn't say it's dirt cheap because it's absolutely not. Like, it's still, you know, reasonably priced, I'd say, but just compared to what we're dealing with around here.
Yeah, if you're comparing it to London, that's always the comparison. It's like anyone in London looks at the north and goes, oh my gosh, that's so cheap. But, you know, if you're in the north, it's just relative to where you are.
Yeah.
So it's, you know, but anyone in London thinks that the Midlands is north as well. That's what's amazing.
Anyone in London north thinks like anything north of Watford is the north.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's fine. Like, just keep the Londoners out.
Yeah, exactly.
So what else is there to say on this? We've got the keys now.
We've got the keys. I mean, we don't physically have the keys. That's the worry. Someone has the keys.
Someone's got the keys. We're going to be... There's quite a lot of jobs we need to get done before the rip out. So we've got to find our builders and confirm them for the job. But before this like rip out starts, it's a former care home. There's quite a lot of stuff in there that could be potentially sold. We could make some of the money back and put it towards the refurb. There's equipment in there that another care home might need. There's all sorts of stuff in there that we don't really know what to do with.
Yeah, there's a really interesting fire escape out the side of the building. It's like a big red steel painted red fire escape.
I thought it was green.
I'm pretty sure it's red.
You're very visual, so
I'm pretty sure it's red.
Yeah.
And apparently that's worth a few bob.
A few bob.
Bob.
You're gonna have to translate that.
Who uses bob? Like, surely the last person that used bob was in like the 1800s when a bob was actually a currency.
That's worth a few bob. That translation, it's worth a few quid, so it's worth a bit of dollar.
Apparently. So let's see. I mean, these types of things will be interesting to look at because I like a bit of wheeling and dealing.
Oh, if anyone loves wheeling and dealing, it's you and me. Like, I absolutely love flipping small scale stuff on Facebook Marketplace. I love it. So like just buying something for something and then just flipping it. I love it so much.
Buy like a rug for £10 but then selling it for 20.
Yeah, I did that. Like I love it.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I know I don't. That £10's not going to make a difference to my life. But
it's just a thrill.
If I did it 10 times, that's 100. And like I love it. And then I'm like, oh, that's me and you go out for dinner, and that was a free dinner.
Yeah.
I think if I wasn't a full-time YouTube content creator, I would be a full-time flipper.
Yeah. Exactly.
Of just stuff. If I had the space.
Yeah. I could see that.
Like me having a big garage full of stuff.
You've never called it a garage.
I know, I don't know why I called it a garage. Me having a really large garage in our forever home.
It's like my mum. She doesn't say, so, you know when you can say bath or bath. They're the two sort of things you said, like if, in England, right? Bath or bath, yeah? We've grown up with the bath. So it's the bath. Right?
Yeah.
And she'll be speaking, she'll be like, the bath. And I'm like,
Yeah, sometimes it just comes out of your mum's mouth. It's so funny.
But then she'll mix the conversation as well. She'll mix the sentences. So you could say bath and bath, and you could say grass and grass. And she'll be like, yeah, so first I'm going to cut the grass, and then I'm going to go to the bath. And you're like...
I don't get it.
Madness.
I know.
Anyway.
Anyway. So yeah, me being a flipper in an alternate life, maybe that's what I'll do when I take a step back from property. Maybe I'll just be a full-time flipper. Throwing that out there.
Okay.
I know this is our announcement video, but it's also just me saying some future dreams and goals of mine.
Amazing. She might be a professional flipper. Cool. Well, yeah. So there's those sort of admin bits now in terms of moving forward with the property. So
yeah.
Our priority now is getting the planning done and over the line.
It's pretty much there.
Pretty much.
Just that one time. There's no objection from any neighbours. There's no actual worrying stuff to be worrying about.
Yeah.
It's just getting the environmental agency to agree to the plans.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And then it will be a case of just getting that build team locked in, and then we can start looking. We've got plans from the architect, and then it's just about then looking at a schedule of works and some quotes and things like that, and getting it firmed up so that we can get going with this project. So.
And should we talk about the exit strategies for this project? As in, like, selling this project as a turnkey HMO, or holding on to this asset as a cash flowing asset.
Yeah.
Like what?
So,
we've spoken to our business partner about this as well.
Yeah, so our primary strategy for this particular project is to let it. So there's going to be 11 rooms. Not every room is going to have an ensuite. There might be 2 or 3 bedrooms that potentially share bathroom.
A bathroom. Yeah.
However, the primary strategy is to let it. However, there are also other exit strategies, such as having it as a working business, a working asset that is producing an income, and then selling it potentially.
Mm-hmm.
At the moment, we're also looking to go with our sort of traditional working professional style tenant.
Yeah.
However, there's also potential that it could work for something else, like a charity or
like social housing.
Some form of social housing, potentially. So we need to just kind of look at that as well. I think our primary strategy is kind of what we've got in mind. However, we do want to have a look at other ones just in case, basically.
Yeah, they always say, don't they? Well, when we did our training, they always said you should have at least sort of like 3 exits in mind for any project you go into. And it's just good for us, as the market's constantly changing, to know what the potential exits are and have stuff lined up for each of them. So yeah, it's further away. We need to engage with, maybe some local agents, or decide if we're going to self-manage it and just have some people locally on the ground.
Definitely not self-managing.
No, I know self-managing is in like, as in we have direct conversations with the tenants, but we just have like a local handyman doing odd jobs and stuff like that. Yeah. Agency all the way.
Hells no.
Agency all the way.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so,
that's their job.
Just stuff like
that's
that.
That's what they're good at.
Just stuff like that. We've got to, there'll be the fine tuning of that later on down the line. I know we've got to get the build done first. So we'll be popping up there probably once a month.
We are actually apparently meant to be, I say apparently, it's in the diary.
Yeah.
Meant to be going in a couple of weeks' time.
So yeah, when we go up in a couple of weeks, you guys will see the project for the first time. And we shall talk you through everything as and when. It's going to be a huge, huge step up from what we've been doing for the last sort of like 2.5 years. But it feels good to be doing a project of this size.
100%.
And might we add as well that the purchase price of this property is not that much more than what we've been paying for these ones that we've been doing.
It's interesting. I think we should do a separate video on like
purchase price and
the
stuff.
Structure of the deal and stuff, definitely at some point.
Yeah, we should, if you guys are interested, we could do a video on how much the deal costs, how many, different
the
numbers, all the investors that have put into this pot, what they're going to be getting in return, because as many of you guys know, we use investor money and our own funds to fund these deals. So the investors that put their money in, they get a set return, hands off, armchair investors, and they absolutely love that. So, it's just really interesting for people to hear about how we make money for both ourselves and for other people doing these sorts of creative projects. So that's it it for now. That's our news.
That's it, yeah, amazing. Until next time.
Until next time.
For those of you that haven't subscribed, remember to hit that subscription button. Where is it? Subscribe.
Just say subscribe, never point, because I always get it wrong. And don't forget, you can click on the cards above and watch some of our other videos that we've been posting. We also did a little Channel 4 job. I left the link of that in our last video in the description. I'll pop it in this one as well, if you guys want to have a little giggle and watch us walk around a very strange property on Channel 4.
Exactly. And if you haven't already, follow us
There's
on
too many notices.
TikTok and Instagram and all that.
Yeah, all of the above. We'll see you in the next one, guys. Take care. Thanks
Bye.
for following us, and see you in the next one. Bye.